this is one of the best climates in the world. It's fantastic. It compares to places like Hawaii because it's this is early September. The weather is perfect. It's pretty much like this most of the year. In the winter, overnight, it gets down to being pretty cool at night. But that's why we have fireplaces. And as soon as the sun comes up, it's another beautiful day like today. Another thing about San Miguel in particular, it's very easy to come here. Most foreign countries that you go to, well, for example, one of the places on a list of foreign places people like to retire was Aix-en-Provence in southern France. And the thing about San Miguel that makes it probably better than a lot of those is that you can come here and find a community of foreigners from Canada and the US already established. That's been here for 60 years. And so you're easily going to find services in English, and you're going to make friends very easily. Another big thing about San Miguel is that it's an important cultural center. It's possibly, after Mexico City itself and possibly Guanajuato, it's probably the leading cultural center of Mexico. And we have 3 chamber music festivals every year. A Baroque one, a big one in the summer that's mostly string quartets, and then a winter season one that goes on from September through April of fine artists and quartets, pianists and quartets and other ensembles from all over the world. Next year we're having, I'm involved with that particular series, next year we're having pianists from England, from New York, we're having an early music ensemble from Montreal, and quartets from various places.
People talk about how you not only do you never get bored, there's almost, if you don't pace yourself, you could get, there's too much.
Oh yes. I mean, I'm obsessing about music because that's one of my loves, but we have 40 art galleries, a tremendous number of restaurants, as you've discovered, having overindulged in many of them. And we have one thing that a lot of people that come down like to get involved in is charities, because there's wonderfully satisfying charity work that you can do here. I'm playing actually for a charity benefit in next month for a group called Casita Linda, and they build homes from scratch for impoverished families in the countryside. If there's a family that's just got some kind of substandard place they're living, Casita Linda will go out there and build them a house. It takes about a day or two.
One other thing too is that there seems to be a great harmony that exists between both the expatriate community and the indigenous population here.
Yes, I think so. People sometimes ask me about if we get along. We get along very, very well. Mexicans are a very friendly, welcoming, gentle people, and which you don't get that impression from watching the Canadian news broadcasts, but it's true. I had a couple from Chicago that were here, and they very seriously asked me about crime in San Miguel, and I just looked at them and said, "Guys, you're from Chicago." And they broke up laughing, of course, because on a good weekend in Chicago, there's an awful lot of people shot.
On a good weekend.
On a good weekend. But here, I mean, I've been here 12 years, so I have a pretty good sense of it. And the level of crime is very, very low. If you come here from Vancouver or Toronto, you're going to go, wow, everything is so cheap. If you come here from Saskatoon, it might look a little expensive, or Halifax. But this is a very built-up real estate market in San Miguel. The homes are very, very high quality, and for a while they were overpriced because we went through a bit of a spike in 05-06, like the U.S. did. But prices have fallen back to more reasonable levels. And the thing is, right now, there's tremendous inventory. You've got a great selection, and you've got a great selection at some pretty good prices. I mean, the homes here are really different from Canada. I mean, they're all stone and brick and carved limestone and arched brick ceilings like my house we were just looking at. And these homes, the maintenance is just incredibly low. I mean, your annual maintenance would be a fraction of what you'd look in Canada. In 20 years, you don't have to replace your roof.
And the other good thing too here is that unlike sort of resort areas, you can actually own title.
Oh yeah, yeah. Along the coast and international borders of Mexico, there's the federal law is that a foreigner cannot own direct title; they have to do it through bank trust. But here, yeah, you own direct title. When you buy something, your name's recorded in the public registry. And here's the great news: annual taxes are going to look to you like a phone bill. I mean, on a house like mine, it's $150 a year. And yeah, and mine's a fairly typical 2-bedroom home.
And just sort of in closing, to sort of maybe briefly, people might have some trepidation about the process. Can you just go through, like I've worked with you, of course, so I know you do your due diligence, but people can be reassured that they're going to be looked after.
Yes. Well, as in anywhere, you want to find a good realtor, one that you're comfortable with, one that communicates well with you, and the process is similar to in Canada. You make an offer, you negotiate the offer and conditions and terms, and then you have a deposit. 10% deposit is pretty typical. But the thing that's different is that here all real estate transactions must be done in the office of a notario público, who is not like a notary in Canada or the U.S., but is like a super lawyer. They have to do 2 more years of law school, and they have to be appointed by the governor of the state. So they're kind of pretty high-level people. And so you do your closing in his or her office, and they do title search, they do a certificate on liens and encumbrances, and then they register the new deed with the public registry. So that's all pretty similar to Canada, except for the notarios.